So here's a Aquael Reefmax aquarium, which is a lovely little reef tank. The lights are on a timer, so the blue light's on at the moment. In about half an hour the full spectrum lights will come on. Then later on at night the full spectrum lights go off, and then an hour or so after the blue lights go off. Now it's got a reef circulator 2600, just blowing the water around. And one of the huge features of these tanks is the evaporative cooler. So it's got a little fan here, and this fan blows water over a very fine membrane, blows air over a very fine membrane of water. So it's able to evaporate sort of 4 degrees. Now that's a huge advantage, but then it also can be a disadvantage if you don't need it. So you can disengage those fans. I'm pretty sure that there's a setting that you can set it to, or you can manually disengage them, because they will mean that if the evaporative cooler is going, as I said, the good bit is it cools the water, the bad bit is it does evaporate a fair bit. So what most people do is have a bucket of water set up like RO water with a bit of carbonate powder or calcium alternately, and so you might make up a bucket of water, add your carbonate or your calcium. Then you might find Monday you put in 4 litres, then maybe Thursday or Friday you might put in 4 litres, then you make up another bucket with the opposite. So if you did calcium, then you might do carbonate, or you might even make it up with magnesium according to what you need to stabilise the hardness of your water. And if your corals are growing, it's going to need regular additions of calcium and carbonate and all that sort of stuff anyway. And this one has also got a retro chiller, a retrofitted ice probe chiller, which is a wonderful little device. And if it gets a very hot day in summer, the evaporative cooler will be working flat out, and the ice probe will come on. The ice probe's basically got a little probe that goes into the aquarium. You've got to drill a hole here, put a fitting, and then the ice probe chills the water. And they come with optional thermostats as well. Otherwise you can just turn them on when it gets too warm. But yeah, beautiful little tank. It's got much more features than many of the other all-in-one little reef tanks, because they've got plenty of light on them. They've got this micro bubble system, that's anti-micro bubble system, that's really good. Helps stop micro bubbles with these little sleeves, because a lot of these all-in-one tanks are synonymous with micro bubbles. So this tank's got great coralline algae. Got a whole bunch of corals, some clownfish, a nice little clam. Down here, a little cucumber, a little coral banded shrimp, a nice little wrasse in the back there. And this tank will sort of come to its glory probably an hour or two after the lights are on. But at the moment the corals aren't too responsive because it's only just the actinic light on. This little clownfish thinks that's a little anemone in there. He's hanging out in the saprophyton leather coral. He looks happy as hell. This guy here looks like he wants some dinner. So that's the Aquael Reefmax.